Hi there, it's Tamara Payne, and welcome to your Metabolic Mastery bonus. Many thanks to the Odyssey Resort here in Utila, Honduras, which is about a mile and a half away from our home, Utila Island Quest, here on this beautiful island. So welcome in. Today's bonus material is going to be a little bit of my story, because I think we learn from stories. So in my first 100 pounds of weight loss, and once I reached the age of 40, what happened is that I found a lot of skin that was hanging. I didn't know about collagen, I didn't know about hormonal receptors, and so I spent the last 7 years really delving into this information. So what I did is I had skin surgery. I had my tummy tucked, breast implant, liposuction, and surgeries to get rid of skin. And in that process, I was really focused on being a professional bodybuilder, and even went to my cosmetic surgeon and was really obsessed with my weight and everything else. And this wise man taught me that shape is more important than weight. Shape is more important than weight. So while it's important for us to check our weight, and in this case we'll be doing it every 3 weeks with each phase, but other than that, on a general basis, I check my weight once a month, because I'm really trying to see what the trends are. I'm not trying to be obsessed with how much I weigh, because we've all known people who get on the scale and they have a good day or a bad day based on what that number is. And it's more important to have shape and longevity and metabolic mastery and hormonal balance. So I'm here to tell you that your soft measuring tape or a string is more important than the weight. For all of us, men, women alike, metabolic mastery and balance means that our neck matches our arms, match our calves. So for me, for example, the last time I took my measurements, my neck was 13, my arms were 13 at the bicep, but my calves were 16. So what that means is that there's an imbalance still in my body with my estrogen, with my progesterone, and with my testosterone. I'm actually estrogen dominant. So everybody's just a little bit different, but that's how you want to know. That's what we look for in deep paleontology, is that we have metabolic mastery balance in our hormones. Another quick lesson is that our testosterone is actually stored in our thighs, generally speaking, for us as men and women. So for those of us as women who have extracellulite on our thighs, that actually means we have the wrong types of estrogen receptors in our body. So that's really important to understand. It's not something to loathe or hate about yourself. It just means that something's not in balance metabolically. And our estrogen is actually stored in our arms. And I can tell, for example, near menstrual cycle, that my arms get swollen, my hips get swollen, because there's changes in estrogen, changes in progesterone, changes in test, changes in my thyroid hormones, my endocrine system, my adrenal glands, all those things. So it's all about information, it's all about understanding. So also I want you to know that these workouts are not meant for weight loss. In case you haven't figured that out, it's more about longevity, toning, and functionality. I personally, we have 9 grandbabies, and I want to be able to keep up with those grandchildren. That's very, very important. And so for me, that's what these workouts are for. Foods reduce inflammation. Workouts should also be reducing inflammation. That's why we work out the way that we do in this metabolic mastery, because that's what I do for life, and I like to have weight-bearing exercises. So that's important. And then a final thing is that let's talk about the actual measurements of the body. For men, it's a little bit easier than it is for us as women. If we look at somebody without their clothes on, and we know whether or not they are meant to make children, that is essentially what it means. When we take our clothes off, we know if an 18-year-old should not be mating with a 70-year-old. Like, we just physically know those things, and that's part of what the aging process is about. There's a reason for those things. And so when you look at it from a man's perspective, men, generally speaking, should have several inches, ideally about 10 inches difference between their chest and their waist. That's what gives guys that beautiful V shape. That's what tells us as women that that is somebody that we want to mate with. They will produce excellent children. That is really all it's about. Basic human animal instincts. So just understand that when you see a great looking man, like I see my husband behind the camera, he's great looking to me with his big old guns and his big old arms and his big old chest and his tapered waist, especially compared to the size of his chest. So that's important. So now for us as women, the important part, because we're a little more complicated, right? So for us as women, he's shaking his head behind the camera. So for us as women, we want a balance in the chest, to the smaller waist, to the bigger hips, right? What does that mean, metabolically speaking? That means that when our ratios are between 0.6 to 0.8, meaning our waist is smaller than our chest and our hips, that means that we can make babies, probably metabolically. Now, I'm 47 years old, okay? I should not be making babies. But I told my husband when we got married, I wanted to commit to being in my wedding dress. And my wedding dress was really small. And so I couldn't maintain that, right? But then I said, well, look, baby, I can't do that without collapsing and without, altering my body. And so instead I said, well, I'm just going to look as long as I can as if I'm meant to make babies. That is my promise to you. And so that's what these workouts are about, is that shape. And as the last time I took my measurements, my chest, I believe, was 37, my waist was 28 or 29, and my hips were probably about 37 or 38, same as my upper body. So that meant that I had that 0.75 or so. If you do the math of 28 divided by 37, it's about 0.75. So that means metabolic mastery and shape for me, right? So you're all going to be different. Just know that if we have a really big waist, that means we have either soft fat or hard fat, adipose tissue, surrounding our organs and strangling our pancreas, strangling our liver, strangling our stomach, our digestive organs. So when you have that, metabolically, you know that something's not in balance. You know that, whether you're a male or a female. And so just understand that that's important. So I hope you enjoyed this learning. I hope it was fun to you. I hope you enjoyed the view. Thanks for letting me share, and I'll see you on your next workout. Bye.